and apologies to my fellow candidates for allowing me to cut in line. As you know, a very dear, close family friend, just really almost a part of our family, passed away on Wednesday, and so I'm going to be rushing back to Oklahoma City to attend her funeral. But it was very important for me to come here today and speak to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm running for state school superintendent because I believe we need to properly prepare our kids for the life demands and the job demands of the 21st century. Also, a well-prepared and well-educated citizen strengthens communities, strengthens neighborhoods, and strengthens our countries. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I have a background in education. I have a degree in education, and I have a master's degree in speech pathology. I've served in 2 school districts and at the OU Health Sciences Center. Then I shifted gears and I went to dental school, and I retired from 23 years of practice in dentistry. You know, it was during that time, as both a businesswoman and as an educator, that my interest in education came back and was reignited. And it was simply because we were trying to decide where to send our twin sons to 6th grade. And based on that, I put together a grassroots organization of parents, of about 120 parents, and founded 2 charter schools. Now, charter schools are public schools. They don't cherry pick kids, but they are schools that have something very unique. All of those mandates that are overbearing on our districts and are requiring our superintendents and boards to struggle to meet mandates, all of those mandates are lifted from charter schools so that local community together can band together and decide what is important for their children to learn. But on the other side, the accountability is very strenuous. The transparency in how they run the school and how they spend the money is very strong by requirement. So I'm going to take those lessons that I have learned from charter schools to the State Department of Education and apply them. Why? Because both of my schools are award-winning, but what I'm very proud of is Harding Charter Preparatory High School, with all of the accountability requirements that are upon us, without cherry-picking kids, with 77% of the students that are on free and reduced lunch, with all of those things. Harding Charter Prep was recognized by Newsweek magazine as number 68 in the country out of the top 1,600 high schools. Ladies and gentlemen, it can be done. Now, do I want to turn every school into a charter school? Absolutely not. I really want to emphasize that. As a matter of fact, my best day will be when they close the last charter school due to lack of interest. My best day will be when every neighborhood school is a parent's first choice for their child. How are we going to get there? Ladies and gentlemen, our academic standards need to be improved. We need to focus on teaching our students how to think, not what to think. It is very important that to prepare these children for the jobs of the 21st century, that they have the ability to think critically, to analyze things, to synthesize information, to take that information that they're in now and to generalize it to new situations. That is the cognitive capabilities that they're going to need to meet these job demands of the 21st century. Our testing system has to be completely reformed. We're spending between $15 and $20 million a year developing our own tests. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a more efficient and a more effective manner to test our children. Our children don't need to be tested with a memory test, which is what we have now. That doesn't help them at all. That testing needs to test that child's ability to think. We need to help our teachers be more effective within the classroom. They need to be able to recognize a child's different learning styles and be able to adjust instruction to meet that individual learning style for students. The State Department of Education needs to be run more effectively and more efficiently. State Department of Education needs to become more of a service organization. I'm a big believer in local control of schools, and so the State Department needs to go to individual districts that have individual separate kinds of challenges and say, here's our little toolbox, what did we need to get out of here to help you to meet the goals that you have for the students in your community. Transparency and accountability. It's very, very important. It's going to start with me and with the State Department of Education. You have the right to know how your tax dollars are being spent on schools. You have the right to know how it's being spent from the State Department down to your school districts. The importance of accountability is important. You have the right to know how the children of your community are doing academically. If you try to go online and find out what reading remediation rates are in your individual school district from K through 3, you will be hard-pressed to find that. You'll be hard-pressed to find what the dropout rate, the graduation rate, or the remediation rate is in your district. You have the right to know that, because together, we need to work together to get a solution for all of Oklahoma's children. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a primary coming up, and I'm respectfully asking for your vote. I need your help in the primary. I need your help in the general election. If we want to maintain education the way it is in Oklahoma, then I'm not your gal. But if you are concerned about education in this state, if you know that it is time that we fundamentally reform our education system to provide better and new opportunities for Oklahoma's children, I'm ready to go to work, and I'm asking for your vote. Go on my website and you can learn a lot more, janetbarresi.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I would appreciate your vote. I would also appreciate your financial help. This is a very expensive race. Those that are opposed to any kind of change are mounting a pretty big opposition against me, so I need your help. And I understand we have a couple minutes for questions, probably time for about one question. Does anybody have a question for me about education and education reform? Yes, sir.
I understand you're very much against State Question 744.
Thank you for asking. Yes, I'm opposed to State Question 744, which require that funding for education meet the average spending on education by all the states that surround the state of Oklahoma. Very quickly, it would have a very devastating effect on our state, on all state services, on law enforcement, on prisons, on health care, on services for the elderly, services for children. Ladies and gentlemen, it would also mean that there would be cuts to career tech, to early childhood education, and to higher ed. It's a bad piece of public policy. 744, vote no. Thank you for the question. God bless all of you.